Controversy erupts as the United States responds to Ukraine's plea for cluster munitions, defying the ban upheld by over 100 nations. The decision, criticized by human rights groups, has raised concerns of hypocrisy and moral implications in an already tense conflict with Russia. Welcome to Slant News. If you want to support, you can subscribe to our channel. The United States has announced its compliance with a Ukrainian request to provide controversial cluster munitions, a decision that has drawn criticism from human rights groups due to the weapons ban in over 100 countries. Cluster munitions are a type of weapon that disperses numerous small bomblets over a wide area during flight, typically launched from rockets, missiles, or artillery shells. While these munitions are designed to explode upon impact, a significant percentage of them, known as duds, fail to detonate initially, especially when landing on wet or soft ground. These unexploded bomblets pose a threat as they can explode at a later time when handled or stepped on, resulting in death or severe injuries. From a military standpoint, cluster munitions can be highly effective against entrenched ground troops in fortified positions, making large areas too hazardous to traverse until carefully cleared. The ban on cluster munitions is supported by more than 100 nations, including major European countries like the United Kingdom, France, and Germany. The Convention on Cluster Munitions, an international treaty, prohibits the use and stockpiling of these weapons due to their indiscriminate impact on civilian populations. Children are particularly vulnerable to harm as the bomblets can resemble small toys, leading to curiosity-driven interactions. Human rights organizations have strongly condemned cluster munitions, describing them as abhorrent and even constituting a war crime. Despite the widespread condemnation, certain countries continue to employ cluster munitions. Russia and Ukraine, for instance, have been using these weapons since the onset of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Neither country has signed the treaty banning cluster munitions, although the United States, while not a signatory, has criticized Russia's extensive use of the weapon. Russian cluster munitions reportedly have a high dud rate of 40%, which means a significant number of unexploded bomblets remain on the ground as hazards. In comparison, the average dud rate for cluster munitions is believed to be around 20%. The United States estimates that its own cluster bomblets have a dud rate of less than 3%. Ukraine's request for cluster munitions stems from a dire shortage of artillery shells faced by its forces. Similar to the Russians, the Ukrainians consume artillery shells at an exceptionally high rate, and their Western allies are unable to replenish them quickly enough. In the static and protracted battlefronts of southern and eastern Ukraine, artillery has become a crucial weapon. The Ukrainian military now faces the formidable challenge of dislodging the invading Russian forces from their well-fortified defensive positions stretching along a 1,000 kilometers (621-mile) battlefront. Due to the lack of sufficient artillery shells, Ukraine has sought the United States' assistance in replenishing its cluster munition supplies, intending to target the Russian infantry occupying these defensive trenches. Washington's decision to comply with Ukraine's request has been far from easy, drawing significant opposition from many Democrats and human rights advocates. The debate surrounding this decision has been ongoing for at least 6 months. The immediate consequence of the U.S. decision is likely to undermine much of the moral high ground the country holds in this conflict. While Russia's alleged war crimes are extensively documented, the U.S.'s decision may lead to accusations of hypocrisy. Cluster munitions are widely regarded as a horrific and indiscriminate weapon, banned in numerous countries for valid reasons. This move by the U.S. may create some discord with its Western allies, and any perceived division within the alliance plays into the hands of Russian President Vladimir Putin, who seeks to exploit such divisions for his benefit. Here we wrap up the news on this topic. And be sure to subscribe to our channel.